And if you got sick and threw up because it was so disgusting, what happened?
You had to eat it.
You had to eat your vomit if you threw up. That's satanic ritual. Diddy was at this party? Denzel Washington was at this party?
Yep.
Birdman was at this party?
Yes, he was.
And Young Jock?
Yep.
And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left?
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was butt? He had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children.
If you read through the line what Ice Cube was saying, he was saying that all us or all of them has done the same shit Diddy been doing. And because he pissed somebody off, they targeted him. They're gonna make an example out of him.
I don't have to think about it, I've lived it. I've been the guy at the Oscars without my name being called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when my name is called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when everybody thought they was gonna call my name and they didn't. So I've lived it.
So what would you say to the people who are looking at this process and saying it's unfair?
Yeah, and so what? You gonna give up? If you're looking for an excuse, you'll find one.
When Ice Cube took the stage at the Yaamava Theater in California this September, the crowd expected a concert. What they didn't expect was a confession that would light up every gossip page and entertainment channel. Between songs, Cube spoke directly to his audience saying, "Almost 40 years of rocking the mic, and I'ma tell you right now, me and WC ain't never been to a Diddy party." The crowd roared. Some cheered out of respect, others out of relief. For many, it was refreshing to hear a veteran artist take a clear stand in an industry drowning in silence. Cube's tone was sharp, but not angry. It was the voice of someone who had seen too much, someone who knew the price of staying quiet. His next words carried even more weight. "You ain't gotta worry about us being on them tapes." It was both a joke and a warning. The audience laughed, but the truth behind those words was heavier than most realized. Cube wasn't just distancing himself from Diddy's current legal mess. He was exposing something deeper, a world within Hollywood that operates by its own rules, a secret club where fame, power, and moral compromise often meet behind closed doors. And while Ice Cube was drawing his line in the sand, fans began connecting dots to another man known for doing the same, Denzel Washington. For years, whispers about elite parties and secret gatherings have circled around Hollywood. Celebrities, executives, and music moguls often held events that weren't meant for public eyes. What happened inside stayed inside. That's how power was maintained.
Diddy was at this party? Denzel Washington was at this party?
Yep.
Birdman was at this party?
Yes, he was.
And Young Jock?
Yep.
And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left?
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was butt? He had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children.
Yep.
Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou.
Yep. So a lot of them do.
I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark.
Left thigh.
So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh.
Yep.
Did you have actions with Diddy?
Yep.
Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on everybody. I ain't keeping no file secrets. Denzel?
Yep.
But in 2025, those whispers turned into headlines when Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison after being found guilty of 2 counts of transportation for prostitution. Court documents, testimonies, and seized evidence painted a disturbing picture of how deep the rot had gone. The so-called freak-off parties that people once treated as myths were now backed by real investigations. According to reports, hundreds of items were seized, everything from recording equipment to bottles of lubricants allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for his private events. The media couldn't look away, and neither could the public. Suddenly, anyone who had ever been linked to Diddy was under scrutiny.
You feel like he got off. 50 months wasn't enough for you.
Yeah, listen to me, man. What people don't understand is they look at the Mann Act as only being something about prostitution. There's different sections. If you read the Mann Act, it talks about rape, it talks about coercion, it talks about somebody being beaten, it talks about a lot of different things in that Mann Act that gives people a lot of time, because you could get up to, I think, about 135 months for that Mann Act. You understand what I'm saying? You can get up to 135 months. That's close to 10 years, I think, or better. So it's different versions, it's different sections in that whole act based on what they call relevant conduct that you do in that stuff. And Diddy did a lot of shit. He beat people, he drugged people. The judge even said this. You understand? The judge spoke about coercion. And no matter what what you call them people, the jurors, said and thought and everything like that. The judge spoke about his coercion, his relevant conduct. The judge spoke about, mitigating circumstances, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the judge spoke about. Look at here. He got caught with drugs. Never got charged with the drugs. And the judge knew that. That's why the judge said relevant conduct. You understand? He got caught with guns. Guns in the house with the serial number. The judge knew that. You understand? Relevant conduct. You understand? That he didn't get charged with. The beating of Jane, hitting in the head. And all that stuff of Cassie. All those things, they probably couldn't. I don't guess they could have charged him with them, but it came up in the trial. All that's relevant conduct. You understand? And people don't understand all the things that he was doing. Then the judge made a point. When you go and talk to the managers and you talk to people about hiding evidence. You understand? Remember the fact in the trial when it came up that he gave a guy $100,000 and some $100,000 or $100,000 to keep the tape that from cashing them? That's relevant conduct. Your judge was speaking about all that. So now, if he's doing that, and the judge is saying all of the stuff that he did that was wrong, what else? Having security take people, put them up in abandoned buildings and threaten them. The judge had all that information. So it was no way this judge was gonna let Diddy walk away and talking about Mark Allegara, his lawyer talking about, well, I want him to walk out of court today. I want him to only have 14 months or whatever. Come on, man. The judge, after he made those statements, they was toying with the judge because they had made so many statements. The judge had made statements prior to any one of those lawyers speaking. How the hell could they even say some of the stuff they didn't say? I thought when the lawyers, I was happy when Diddy's lawyers was speaking because they was burying him more than they was helping him.
In this storm, Ice Cube's words carried new meaning. They weren't just about personal distance. They were about moral separation. He was saying, I don't belong to that world. And in a way, that made people look at him with the same respect they give Denzel Washington. Two men who managed to climb to the top without losing themselves. Stories about Denzel Washington walking out of one of Diddy's early 2000s parties have floated around Hollywood for years. Some claim it happened around 2003, during the height of Diddy's influence. According to those who claim to have been there, Denzel didn't like what he saw. He allegedly stood up, said a few words about keeping his dignity, and left. Now, whether that exact moment happened or not, the story feels true to Denzel's character, because this is a man known for boundaries, known for faith, known for staying grounded when everyone else is chasing approval.
A new exclusive report in Us Weekly reveals actor Denzel Washington had a heated confrontation with rapper Sean Diddy Combs at an all-night party back in 2003. Washington reportedly abruptly left with his wife, telling Diddy, quote, "You don't respect anyone." This incident has resurfaced amidst Combs' current legal troubles. He faces charges of trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has pleaded not guilty.
Denzel has always separated himself from Hollywood's party scene. He's rarely seen at red carpets outside of his own film premieres. He doesn't attend exclusive after parties or host extravagant gatherings. His focus has always been the work, and that's exactly why people respect him and why some quietly fear him. Because Denzel doesn't need validation from anyone. He doesn't bend to pressure. He doesn't join clubs or play politics. In a system that thrives on submission, that kind of strength makes people uncomfortable.
Sean Diddy Combs once got into an argument with Denzel Washington during a party. According to a new report, the altercation took place during an all-night affair he was attending with his wife, Pauletta Washington, in 2003. An insider who was allegedly close with the Oscar winner told Us Weekly that Denzel screamed, quote, "You don't respect anyone," at Diddy. Denzel and Pauletta reportedly witnessed something so offensive that it caused them to storm out of the event. Diddy is infamous for his wild bashes, which have been attended by Leonardo DiCaprio, Sarah Jessica Parker, Ashton Kutcher, and more stars over the years. But the parties have recently come under scrutiny in the wake of Diddy's arrest on trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution. It appears that what happens at Diddy's parties doesn't always stay at Diddy's parties.
Hollywood has always been a business of control. Power players don't just look for talent, they look for obedience. They want to know who they can shape, who they can silence, and who they can own. But when someone like Denzel Washington walks into the room, all that control disappears. He doesn't depend on their approval. His talent and his principles protect him. That's why the industry respects him, but never crosses him. There's a story from early in his career that says everything about his mindset. During the filming of Cry Freedom, Denzel clashed with producers who wanted to tone down the political message of the film. He refused. He told them he wouldn't compromise on truth, even if it cost him the role. That moment defined his career. From then on, he became the kind of actor who called the shots, not out of arrogance, but out of conviction. When an actor like that comes along, the Hollywood system doesn't know what to do. You can't bribe him. You can't scare him. You can't seduce him with fame. You either respect him or you expose your own weakness.
Hey man, the first thing I want to ask you about is Ice Cube. He came out with a comment that went viral.
God.
He said that he feel like Diddy is being targeted. How you feel about him saying that?
My man, Ice Cube was saying what, if you read through the line what Ice Cube was saying, he was saying that all us or all of them has done the same Diddy been doing. And because he pissed somebody off, they targeted him. They're gonna make an example out of him. Whatever you do at this point in time, you understand, we gonna crush everything that you got to show the other people behind him, you don't come out and speak up or speak out on us. What Ice Cube was saying, brother, was that it ain't only Diddy. Picked on, targeted, that means there's other people that they know, but they just not gonna say anything about it. You understand? They're not gonna use them right now and put them up on a pedestal and knock them down like they doing Diddy. If Diddy hadn't done anything, if Diddy wasn't involved in anything, ain't nothing they could do to you. They could come at you, but if you got enough money like he had enough money, you understand? Whatever they say, Lies don't stand, bro. The truth stand. So Ice Cube saying that, I was a little disappointed. But what he was actually letting y'all know was this. It ain't only Diddy. There's other people. But because he came out and called those people racist, because he came out and tried to put a lawsuit against them, they gonna show him you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's what that was all about. I met Ice Cube before when Puff was doing a video with Fabulous in California on the beach. Ice Cube, within walking distance, was doing a beauty shop at this what's it, beauty? It was barbershop at this place. I guess it was a barbershop right there next to the beach or whatever. He was shooting it there. So Kobe was there, Fabulous, Puff, and then we went over to the set of barbershop. I met him before, a good brother, man. But all he was saying in a slick way was that it ain't only Puff. Puff ain't the only one that's doing this. He's just being targeted about what he has said and what he did, bro.
In his own way, Ice Cube followed the same path. He entered the entertainment industry at a young age, surrounded by fame, power, and temptation. Yet he always stayed true to his roots. From NWA to Friday to Boys and the Hood, Cube built his career on authenticity. He spoke for communities that Hollywood often ignored. When the industry tried to label him as too aggressive or too political, he turned that criticism into creativity. He started writing, producing, and creating opportunities for others. His company, Cube Vision, became a platform for storytelling that reflected real life, not the fantasy world of red carpets and champagne parties. That's why his statement about Diddy's parties hit so hard. Cube wasn't just protecting his image, he was protecting his legacy. He was reminding the world that he doesn't need to be part of the Hollywood elite to be powerful. His audience has always been the people, not the club. And like Denzel, Cube's moral independence is what makes him untouchable.
Puff baby mama. First she was saying, yo, you went from making hit records, 6 songs, traveling the world, now you selling alcohol and death to the kids or something like that. And now she done came to his defense. You're gonna have people come to his defense and say things because they know that they could be next or their legacy could be gone because of what he did and how he operated. She knows that Justin could lose everything that he had in Justin's name. All the people that sue him, if half of them win, that's a whole lot of money. He'll never get the endorsement, he'll never get what he had before. She see that now that Justin and anybody that's a part of him can lose what they have and not gain anything behind none of this.
So I want to ask you, your personal opinion, do you feel like Diddy is being targeted?
Do I feel like he's being targeted?
Yeah.
I feel like that he's getting what he deserved, point blank. Man, listen to me, man. All the stuff that he's gotten away with over the years, you know what I'm saying? Smacking people, beating girls, cheating people out of their publishing or their marketing or whatever the stuff that he did, all the stuff that he did over the years, man, he just finally, karma is crazy. It'll reach back and bite you in the ass. And he's just getting what he deserved. Targeted? Yeah, good. But they're gonna be able to prove some of the stuff that he's done.
Yeah, it ain't looking too good for him.
Not at all. Not at all. And it won't be looking good for him. They got enough witnesses, man. They got enough evidence against him. There's gonna be, listen, you don't hire 6 different lawyers or 7 for different situations unless you've been involved in those different situations and you need 6 top lawyers to handle it. You're talking about drugs, talking about guns, talking about trafficking. You understand? You're talking about embezzlement, taxes, all that. Come on, man.
In Hollywood, saying no can end careers. Many actors, musicians, and filmmakers admit that they went along with things they didn't believe in just to stay relevant. The pressure is real, the promise of fame is seductive, and the fear of being blacklisted is powerful. But Denzel and Cube both prove that you can build longevity through discipline, not desperation. Denzel once said in an interview that your talent will get you to the top, but your character will keep you there. That philosophy has guided his entire life. He doesn't drink in excess, doesn't attend questionable events, and doesn't mix his personal values with Hollywood politics. For Ice Cube, it's the same. He refuses to let popularity define him. When fans or executives question his choices, he always responds with confidence. I don't need validation from Hollywood. I know who I am. That attitude has kept him free. And freedom, in Hollywood, is the rarest form of power. The word feared might sound harsh, but in Denzel's case, it's rooted in respect. People fear him because they can't predict him, they can't manipulate him, and they can't make him play the game. Behind the scenes, Denzel has often been described as intense and deeply focused. He doesn't gossip, he doesn't flatter people to get roles. When he walks into a set, the energy changes. Everyone brings their best because they know Denzel demands excellence, not through yelling, but through presence. Some directors have admitted that they feel nervous working with him because he's smarter than most of them. He studies every detail, every line, every motivation. He doesn't just act, he analyzes the entire story. That's why he has directed some of the most thoughtful films in recent memory, like Fences and The Great Debaters. And beyond the craft, he carries an aura of spiritual authority. He often speaks about his faith, about prayer, and about keeping God at the center of everything he does. In an industry that often celebrates ego, that humility is both rare and threatening.
There is a third arrest that is coming. There's 2 that's already down. There's a raid that's about to go on. And on top of that, it's somebody that has something to do with an affidavit that I have already released. I am telling you, we know that it's coming. I knew it was coming when I made sure there were sworn and legal affidavits already ready 6 to 8 months ago. I'm telling you right now that they're about to grab them and they're about to announce it. When they announce it, we got a problem. We got a big problem. Because there's ways that this is about to go. I think a lot of you guys are everybody's like, we're ready. We're ready until it's happening. And then everybody's like, well, I wasn't ready. Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of that.
There's no other way to get ready. There's no other way to prepare. There's no protocol for what's about to happen. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it. Ask questions, demand answers.
The reason Hollywood fears people like Denzel and Ice Cube is simple. They expose truth without even trying. Their presence alone challenges the culture of conformity. When Diddy's scandal erupted, countless celebrities stayed quiet, hoping to protect their image. But Cube's honesty reminded everyone that silence can be dangerous too. By saying, I never went to those parties, he didn't just protect himself. He sent a message to the entire industry. A message that said, integrity still matters. And when fans looked at Denzel, they saw proof of that message in action. Here was a man who never needed to attend the right parties or mingle with powerful people to stay relevant. His influence comes from his body of work and his moral discipline. In a world where fame can destroy people overnight, Denzel's clean reputation is both a shield and a weapon. That's what makes him feared, not because he exposes secrets, but because his existence exposes weakness in others.
You know, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, you know, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. You know, that just ain't what I'm in it for. You know, you've been to one, you've been to them
Are you surprised at what things are coming out with Diddy at all, or you're like, you have no idea? It's none of my business. You'll live longer. Is that kind of like the mindset?
I mean, surprised. How could you be surprised with anything that happens in hip hop? You know, hip hop is the Wild West. So you're gonna have the good, you're gonna have the bad, you're gonna have the ugly.
You think he's being targeted, or some of the stuff he's got, there's credibility on what they're coming after him with the tapes and the feds and raiding his Miami home, his LA home?
I believe he's being targeted.
You believe he's being targeted?
Yeah. I believe, somebody, has the power to pull the trigger to make, this stuff, this domino effect happen.
Over the years, there have been quiet stories about Denzel clashing with major studio executives and producers, not out of ego, but out of principle. He has walked away from multi-million-dollar deals when scripts didn't align with his values. One famous instance came during discussions for a major action franchise. The studio wanted to push the film toward a darker tone with unnecessary romantic scenes. Denzel reportedly refused, saying the story should stay focused on character and justice, not indulgence. The executives tried to pressure him, but he didn't budge. He told them, "I'm not here to sell confusion. I'm here to tell truth." The studio eventually backed down, and the film went on to be a hit. That kind of integrity is intimidating. When you can't buy someone, you start to fear them because their honesty exposes your corruption.
Okay, all right, so you think he's being targeted, so you don't think, Suge said, you can say what you want about Diddy, but Diddy didn't learn to like young boys. He learned it from a man named Clive Davis. He threw Clive Davis in there. It doesn't sound like you're part of that camp. You're part of the camp that you think he's being targeted.
I don't know enough to even be able to be specific on any of this stuff. It's just all speculation. I just know he was cool up until a point, and then this stuff started happening. So I believe somebody, like I said, y'all, he's our new guy. We on this year or whatever.
Ice Cube has also faced his share of backlash for speaking truth when he started talking about ownership, about artists needing control over their own music and films. The industry labeled him difficult. When he criticized Hollywood's treatment of black creators, he was accused of being bitter. But years later, those same people are now echoing his ideas. Cube was ahead of his time. And that's another reason his comments about Diddy hit so deeply. He's seen what happens when artists chase the wrong kind of power. He knows how easily the system could turn against you. By refusing to join Diddy's circle, Cube wasn't just avoiding scandal, he was protecting his spiritual health. That kind of wisdom comes from experience and survival.
Actor, producer, director.
Your manager, Jeff, said Warner Brothers is horrible to black creators. How so?
I mean, they have a list of complaints and lawsuits and settlements behind the scenes. And if you look at the movies they've produced, you can count you can use your ears to count the black movies they've produced, in the last 5 years that made any noise. They've given away some of my biggest movies, like Ride Along. They didn't see me and Kevin Hart as being a star and bona fide box office. So Universal put that movie out.
And didn't the Chief Toby think Kevin Hart would never be a star?
Yeah, this is what I heard, is that he said to, not only my manager, but to the guy that was producing with me, that, two black leads are not gonna sell overseas.
With Diddy now serving his sentence, Hollywood is facing a shift. The illusion of untouchable celebrity has cracked. Every day, new revelations challenge what people once believed about fame and success. Younger artists are watching closely. They're realizing that fast fame can destroy you just as quickly. Many are starting to look at veterans like Ice Cube and Denzel Washington for guidance, not just for career advice, but for moral direction. What these two men represent is stability. They both endured decades in an industry that eats people alive, yet they've never lost their grounding. That's why their voices matter more now than ever. There's also a deeper layer to this story, a spiritual one. Denzel often talks about how he prays before every project. He believes his talent is a gift from God and that his purpose is to serve through it. That's why he's careful about what roles he takes and the messages his films send. Ice Cube has expressed similar beliefs in interviews. He's talked about trusting divine timing and refusing to be pressured by industry trends. Both men see fame as temporary, but faith as eternal. In a world that constantly tempts artists to abandon their beliefs, these two stand as reminders that spiritual grounding is the ultimate protection. That's why the so-called clubs and secret circles don't appeal to them. They already belong to something higher.
I'm fascinated with the impact of not just hip-hop generally on inequality, but the specific words and language, because I do believe that words matter. And AI has now come out and allowed us to do this in a much more serious way and scalable way. We can talk about that later. Would I feel safe? No, but I've never felt safe, and I'm not going to.
But you gotta buy brie cheese.
You gotta get brie cheese. You better get on
Dude, you gotta be careful with that cheese. It's expensive.
You know, I'm stocking it up. I'm the only black person with brie in the freezer.
So
I got brie on layaway and shit.
So you're a prepper. So
every week I put something on it.
So you're saying you're a prepper, right?
Oh my God!
You're getting ready for post-scarcity work.
Give me this comb tea on.
Oh my God!
On layaway.
Oh my God!
Okay, so you're and I appreciate that, but so you're afraid, but you're still gonna do it.
No, I didn't say I was afraid. I said I don't feel safe. They're different.
Don't feel safe.
No, I don't. Right? Like, and it's okay. I don't remember the last time I felt safe. I went to a friend of mine. I only have a couple of them from school days. And I went to him and I said, man, there's so much uncertainty. What do I do? He lives right outside of Dallas. And he said to me, but you love uncertainty. I was like, no, I don't. He said, well, it seems like you do, right? Because you've lived in it for so long.
Sure.
So yes, I don't feel safe. I'm not gonna feel safe. After our back and forth between Harvard and I'm never going to feel safe. That's just not an option. But I'm going to keep going because I'm willing to die on this hill.
Now, why are you investigating this though? Link with hip hop and.
It's the biggest cultural revolution that I've seen in my lifetime.
Of course. Walking this path isn't easy. When you refuse to play the game, you make enemies. People in power start whispering that you're difficult or uncooperative. You get fewer invitations, fewer awards, fewer media favors. But Denzel and Cube seem perfectly fine with that because they understand something most don't. Peace of mind is priceless. As Denzel once said, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship, meaning that comfort can destroy your purpose faster than struggle. Ice Cube lives by the same philosophy. Every time he's faced criticism, he's responded with work. That's why both men remain relevant decades after their debut. Now Hollywood stands at a crossroads. The Diddy scandal isn't just one man's downfall. It's a mirror reflecting how far the industry has strayed. For years, people ignored the rumors. They laughed off the whispers. But now, with public evidence and real consequences, there's no more hiding. Ice Cube's statement came at the perfect time. It reminded people that you can be famous and still clean, that you can be rich and still righteous. And when fans look at Denzel, they see proof that staying true to your values doesn't stop you from being great. At the end of the day, fear and respect often walk hand in hand. People fear Denzel Washington not because of what he might expose, but because he already exposed the truth by living it. He is the man who never needed Hollywood's club. His faith is his circle. His work is his weapon. His peace is his power. Ice Cube's honesty only strengthens that legacy. Two men from different paths, both showing the same lesson, that integrity is louder than fame. In a world obsessed with appearances, they prove that real strength is invisible. It's in your choices, your silence, and your refusal to compromise. So maybe the real question isn't who's the most feared actor in Hollywood. Maybe the question is this: in a world where everyone wants to be accepted, are you brave enough to stand alone? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.